Hi guys, so now I'm just going to show you a little bit of foam rolling and trigger point ball things that I like to do before I start a gym workout, or maybe after I do a turbo session or a run. Really any time that you're feeling tight, it's not a bad thing to do. So I'll usually work my way from toe to sort of back, not head. So the first thing I'll do is with the trigger point ball, standing up, I will roll over my feet wherever I feel more tight, under my toes. Just do that a little bit, just to loosen things up a little bit. Once I'm happy that I've done that on both sides, I then move on to the foam roller that we all love so much, and I'll start with my calves. So over here, I love that sometimes like it feels like a tricep workout as well. So you're up here, and depending how often you do this, you might want to start with both legs up on the roller, or having one leg here, so that not all of the weight is on your calf. So you really want to be rowing from the you want to be rowing the outside, the back, and then sort of the inside. So I'll just go along pretty much everywhere. If that doesn't feel like very much, if you're not that tight, then you might want to then sort of put both legs there so that you have a bit more weight up here. Or if you feel really ready, then you can really go for it, and that's where I feel like it's a proper tricep exercise, because they're coming down and back up. But then everyone does it in a different way. But yeah, so that would be how I would do my calves. Then I move on to my hamstrings. To be honest, hamstrings wise, I don't really spend much time on my hamstrings on the foam roller. I tend to stretch them more than foam roll them, but I still spend a little bit of time when I go a bit on the inside, then a little bit on the outside. Now the IT band, which comes from here all the way up, isn't really a muscle. So if you feel tightness in your IT band, it usually stems from tightness in your quads or your calves or your hamstrings or glutes. So I personally don't like to spend much time rowing the IT bands. There are different points of view out there on whether you should or not. I would say don't. But if you do, then don't spend too much time on them. So if you were to do it, then you just sort of put your foot forward and just go side to side. But again, it's a matter of preference, and if you really think that you need it, I would say go for what's causing it to feel tight, which is probably the surrounding muscles that are pulling on it. Then I'll go for glutes. Depending how you're feeling with your glutes, you can be brave and use a trigger point ball instead of your foam roller. That will get you a little bit deeper where you feel tight. So here you sit on it, and I challenge you not to make faces when you're doing this. It's pretty much impossible. As soon as you find that point and you're just like, ooh, there you go, found a point. It's impossible not to make a face. So you just roll until you find where it's a bit more tender and spend a bit more time on those areas. So that would be sort of posterior side. Then I move on to the quads and my hip flexors. So with quads, I'll tend to put one knee on the side, like that, and I'll just roll back and forth on my quads. I'll then roll inwards a little bit as well to get that VMO muscle here, which is often quite tight from cycling. So sort of roll inwards a bit, all the way up, until I get to my hip flexor. Just bring this forward a bit. And then I roll over my hip flexor a little bit. For the hip flexor, again, I sometimes like to use the ball, because it sort of gets it a little bit better. So if I were to use the ball, same position, but with the ball I just sit on it and go there and I can really feel it. Then we move on to sort of back and upper back, etc. Again, the lower back is quite sensitive. I don't like to spend much time foam rolling the lower back. No, I don't think it's that great of an idea, but you can spend a bit of time if you feel tight. Just don't be there for too long. I tend to do sort of all the way up here sometimes, so going like that, just to offer some release. And then on the other side as well. And then upper back, I find it easier if I hold this way and then just go here, or even if I hold my head. If you have long hair and it's in a ponytail, first time I did this I had long hair and I would roll over my hair, so just hold your hair up like that and then roll. That feels quite nice. And then finally, with the trigger point ball, I don't think I'll find anywhere to do this properly without having to move the video, but over here I quite like to put it against the wall and just go up and down where it feels really tight. So often upper back, like around here, I find some points where I feel really tight. I just put it against the wall and roll over it. I like that, doing this against the wall as opposed to on the floor, because then I have more control of how much pressure I can put on it. If you're on the floor, then all your body weight is on it, and it's much harder to control how much pressure you have on it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know.